Hello, good people. This is a good day. And why is that? Because Cheap Trick has a new album out. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to open up my favorite beer because Cheap Trick is one of my favorite bands. So I've been waiting for this album to come out, like a lot of us have, because this thing has actually been done for a long time. Their last album came out in 2017. Actually, they put two albums out that year, but one of them was a Christmas album. So I'm not really, well, I guess I won't say I'm not counting that. I mean, it was an album. They did put it out. But anyway, Cheap Trick, unlike a lot of, older bands, they actually still put out new music. And they put out good new music, not just, retreaded stuff. I mean, it's normally nothing, like crazy new or whatever, but they're always trying to put out new music. It's kind of like them and Alice Cooper are a couple of the only older bands that don't want to just rest on their laurels. They, obviously when they play live, they're going to do a bunch of that stuff, but they're still making new music. So by all means, please go out and support it. Cheap Trick finally has released this. It's their 20th studio album, and it's called In Another World. Now you're wondering, hey, where's the album of it? Why are you holding a CD? Well, the album isn't out yet for some reason, which kind of surprises me. The album is not going to be ready until, I believe, June 4th, is what the guy at the record shop told me. I got this one at Gromy's. For some reason, that's delayed, and I find that kind of odd because Cheap Trick is normally really into the whole vinyl scene. They've had several record store day releases, and they've been doing that for quite a while. So the fact that the record is not coming out until later, kind of a bummer. I'm not really happy about that, but at the same time, I'm not going to pass it up. I gotta get it, and I'll probably still end up getting the vinyl. So, what do we think of this? I think it's pretty good. That's what I think about it. Obviously it just came out, so I'm still listening to it, still getting used to it. But these are some of my early thoughts after going through it a few times. Of course, the first song, The Summer Looks Good on You, has been out for a while. They released that song like a couple years ago, I think. They had a video of it, and it was kind of like a single, because like I said, this album has actually been done. This was done before the whole COVID outbreak, and it was supposed to be released before that, but I think they had some problems with the record company. I don't know what the whole deal was, but then it was supposed to come out last year, and it didn't because of all the COVID stuff. So it's finally coming out now. So all this stuff has kind of been in the can for a little while. And that first song, The Summer Looks Good on You, like I said, has been out for a while, because actually the last time that I saw Cheap Trick, which I believe was 2019, they did that song. They did that song live. And I really like that song. That's a good song. Obviously I was already a little familiar with it, so that kind of kicked the album off really nice. And it's just a really cool song. I liked it when I heard it, and I still like it now. It's a nice upbeat song. It's not like a hard rock song or anything, but it's a good power pop song. Now the next one is called Quit Waking Me Up. And for those of you that are fans of Cheap Trick, you obviously know that Cheap Trick are big Beatles fans, and they're heavily influenced by the Beatles. And that really shows up on this album, I think, on several songs, but especially this second one, Quit Waking Me Up. To me, that sounds like it could be right off of, maybe Sergeant Pepper's or something along those lines, around that time period. It's a nice song. Number three is called Another World, and that's a really nice ballad. I really like that one. Number four and five. Four is Boys and Girls and Rock and Roll, and The Party. Both of those are pretty upbeat rocking songs. I think The Party's a little bit better. That's a little bit heavier of a song. I like Cheap Trick's harder rocking songs a lot. And then it goes into Final Days, which is kind of a blues song. It's even got harmonica by, I think I read it, Jimmy Hall, I think, is who plays harmonica on that. But that's a blues song. You really don't hear Cheap Trick doing blues that much. Let's see. Then, oh yeah, So It Goes is the next song. That's great. That's a beautiful ballad. Cheap Trick always has some really good ballads, and that one fits right in there. I love that song. It actually, now, talking about Beatles stuff again, to me, if I was going to say, that almost sounds like it could come off of Revolver. It's a good one. Light Up the Fire. That's cool. That's the next one. Light Up the Fire is a good hard rocker song. Robin Zander's vocals sound awesome on it. I love Robin Zander when he gets into the heavier songs and he's kind of uses that little more of a scream voice, who, by the way, sounds awesome on this. Robin Zander, easily, I've said this several times before, he's just one of the all-time great singers in rock and roll, man. You talk about somebody who has kept his voice. Robin Zander and Glenn Hughes are guys that are up there in age and can still do it. And not just in a studio, they can still deliver it live. Just sounds great on here, on the whole record. In that it's heavy. It's a heavy song, but it sounds like it has it's got that like a descending guitar line. It sounds like something from the 60s, like from the late 60s. I wrote like a couple real just quick notes. Let's see, Passing Through. That's another slow song. That's pretty good. It's not too bad. It sounds like something off of like Lap of Luxury around that time period. Next, Here's Looking at You. That's probably right now at least, that's like my least favorite song on this album. I'm not really that, to me, that's almost one they could have cut off. There's like 13 songs on here. And I don't know. I feel like that one maybe didn't need to be on the album. Then they do Another World Reprise. Now the first Another World was like a slower song. And this one is a more upbeat song. And it's pretty cool. I like it quite. I think I like this better than I do the first Another World. It's kind of odd that they have like two songs called that and they're different songs. I'll See You Again. That's great. That is song number 12, and it's a slower type song. It's very melancholy, and it just kind of, it makes you think of the band being older guys. A lot of the fans are older, and it's just a really neat song. I'll See You Again. That's a great one off of here. And then they end it with Give Me Some Truth, which is a remake of a Beatles song, or no, John Lennon song. I'm sorry. It's a John Lennon song that they had actually released that before too. I know that was out. I can't remember if it was just like a video they released or if it was a record store day. But that's really cool. They do a really good job of that one too, of Give Me Some Truth by John Lennon. So overall, I think it's a pretty good album. If I had one complaint, it would be maybe have a few, more really harder songs like they did off of that 97 album that they did or something like that. But, I can't complain. I'm happy with it. I think it's a really good album. I would totally recommend it to you. Like I said, there's only one song on here that I don't like, and I've only been through it a few times. but I would still recommend it. And I know the more I listen to it, I can tell it's a type of album that's going to grow on me. And I think it will do the same for you. By the way, look, I'm wearing my Cheap Trick Next Position Please tour shirt from 1984. That's why it's a little tight on me. And it makes me realize that at one point in my life, I had abs. And now I don't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Cheap Trick in Another World. I recommend it. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this album. See what you think about it. Remember, I'm on Twitter and Facebook. And until the next time, my friends, I will see you down the road.